everyone. It is me, Sailor Jupiter, or Sailor Kingroad, or Lita here, and I want to talk about, Sailor Moon being back on Cartoon Network, or Cartoon Folkwork, or Drawing Show Folkwork. I know we already made a film talking about this, but I truly think that it's a good thing. Now, a lot of folks out there, and the naysayers, we gotta talk about the naysayers first, might say that who watches Farseer anymore? Most folks are into streaming things. We got what we call wire cutters. Well, even if there are what we'll call the wire cutters, folks that, don't watch the Farseer anymore and think the Farseer's a out-of-date tool, there are still some folks who do watch things on the Farseer. Maybe not as much as they once were. Anyway, Cartoon Network or Cartoon Folkwork or Drawing Show Folkwork, getting a deal with Sailor Moon to put Sailor Moon back on the Farseer is a big deal. For a long time, Sailor Moon being streamed everywhere was a big deal. And when we first heard about Sailor Moon being back on Drawing Show Folkwork, it was first meant as, this gotta be a stunt. It's gotta be a lark. There isn't any truth to back it up. At first that may have been what some folks thought. But when we learned it was true, that was cool. Because it has been years since Sailor Moon has been on the Farseer, at least in North Vinland. I mean, back in the day, Sailor Moon was on Sundriest Folkworks, and the 4-1 right, she had it on WB and UPN, and later on USA and Cartoon, and then the Settled it was YTV. So it being back on Cartoon Network or Drawing Show Folkwork is a big deal. And then to learn that it would be the Viz one, that was also a big strike for some folks. Shock for some folks. Because some folks didn't think that the Viz one would be, picked up. And then learning that this would also include the comeback of what some would call Tuname or whatever, or Drawing Show, the arm of Cartoon Network or Drawing Show Folkwork, which Drawing Shows from Dawnland once ran on it. And then to hear that would be a thing, but not every single day like it was in the past. I mean, Sailor Moon on Cartoon Network or Drawing Show Folkwork was only on from like 4:30 in the afterday, alone day through Friday. Now it only being on Friday evenings at 5, well, it's a big deal. And then how we always give our thoughts on on the sagas so far. Some of the ones that Deke did work with and some of the ones they did not work with. And I know there's going to be a lot of folks out there who, only liked the Viz stuff, hated the Deke and Cloverway stuff. That might, well, I don't know what to say about those folks, and we know what their beliefs are. And I've always liked the Deke one and the Cloverway one. And I like the Viz one too. But at the end of the day, it's cool to know that it's back on again. For how long? I don't know. We don't know how the watch time is. We don't know how many folks are watching it. We don't know how many folks are truly watching it. Nowadays, if folks aren't watching anything on the Farseer, they're either streaming it on the Reckoner, or they're setting it to time film and then tape it and then watch it at a later date. So I would want to think that a lot of folks are watching it, I guess. And I guess the only folks that would be watching it would be Sailor Moon followers. Folks who watched it back in the day when it was being who watched it back in the day, you know, the Deke one, the Cloverway one, whatever, you know. So I would think the folks that saw it back in the day on Cartoon Network or Cartoon Folkwork or Drawing Show Folkwork would be the ones watching it now, if they're still into it or not. And maybe some newcomers, folks who never ever watched Sailor Moon or any drawing shows from Dawnland anymore, and that would be their first time. So, at the end of the day, I am happy that it is back on Cartoon Network or Drawing Show Folkwork. You know, it shows that Sailor Moon once again, it shows that, because you know, that it shows that Sailor Moon has a new life in North Vinland, 4-1 Reichs to Setterland, those two English-speaking lands in North Vinland. And it shows that it could most likely become big again. You know, you never know, like we said when we first made our film talking about this, that if it becomes big enough, you might get the film games here again. You might get dolls here again. You know, who knows? But at least it shows that Toei and Viz felt that, you know, really fought the, you know, made this happen. You know, they could not just done it and said, well, all you're going to get is a streamed, and you should be thankful. And to get it on the Farseer is a big deal, because, you know, because no one really thought that Sailor Moon was going to be back on Cartoon Network or Drawing Show Folkwork. And I'm happy for that. You know, because it does bring up a time, before I end this film, where folks, you know, they could go back watching it. You know, either on WB or UPN or USA, a cartoon or drawing show, and it brings back a time, you know, when that was a thing. So if you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Don't forget to share, thumb up, and playlist this film. Watch the other film we made yesterday over here. Hit that ring that you know when the next upload, live stream, and short's been done. Sailor Jupiter, and Sailor King Rolita, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.